Hey y'all, this is part two to my testimony video. I wanted to share all that went down with me trying to publish this guy. So I have known that or I've come to know recently that whenever the Lord, as I mentioned in the first video, whenever the Lord gives you an instruction, the enemy is quick and ready to try and come against that, try to discourage you, try and distract you, whatever the case is. This has been something that I have seen throughout my life, that whenever the Lord has something for me, I start to face this really weird opposition where it's just like, how is this even an issue? Like, I do not see this. I mentioned this in my Ireland testimony, so if you want to watch that, I would check that out. But I mean, it was just so crazy. Like, everything that I tried, totally normal things, everything fell apart every single time. And I'm just like, how is this possible? And on the flip side of that, it's the same, that the Lord will bring things together. And it's like, how is this possible? Like, it's so interesting to me. But I just wanted to share some of the issues facing my newest book, and also encourage you to maybe check it out. It's love poems about, it's love poems about my relationship with the Lord, and it may be relatable to you. So it is available on Amazon, and I'll be putting the link in the description. Yeah. So anyways, so as I mentioned, he first told me to write the book a couple years ago. I can't remember if I wrote it all in that one sitting or whatever happened, but then he reminded me about the book again. And then after he called me away from my last job, it was really, first it was ministry stuff and other things that he needed to work out of me. And that was like early this year, January, February, March, April, May. Around June, I started to realize, or like late May or something, oh my gosh, I need to do this art thing, I guess, like set up my Patreon business, whatever, because at that time he had shut all the doors for me with working. Well, this is important to share. So I actually should have put this in my first video, and I'm sorry about that. So not only did I have issues for whatever weird reason with keeping a job, with keeping a job, I also noticed that there were certain times when just the doors would close. Like, it was just like, it didn't make any sense that I would struggle so much to get a job, because I would go for really any job, like any low-level job. One of the doors that closed was during COVID. Like, it was just like, oh, well, everything shut down. That's great. And I had just left my job. Because I kind of felt like it was the Lord that had spoken to me, but I wasn't sure, to be honest, looking back at it. It was, but like, I didn't know that, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, like, it turned out to be, but I was off with my analysis as to why I thought that was the case, if that makes sense. But anyways, so so he had closed the doors for me, and it was just, I would send an application after application, and the weirdest things would happen. Like, my application would get processed, I'd get like the confirmation, I'd get an interview, and then all of a sudden they would close like the job position, or they I would get the confirmation on my end, but they wouldn't get on theirs. And I'm like, okay, so can we reschedule? And then it would happen again. And I'm like, this is weird. This does not happen. This does not make sense. So when you start having circumstances like that, you start to say, okay, what's going on? Okay, this is a little bit outside of the ordinary as far as like things just falling apart, not getting a job is one thing, but not getting a job under like really weird circumstances that just make no kind of logical sense is a whole other thing. So that's how you know there's probably a spiritual element to whatever you're going through. But anyways, so I realized that he was closing the door for me when it came to work, and I was like, okay, so I guess I'll just occupy what I have right here in front of me, as the Holy Spirit kind of showed me when it comes to like waiting on the Lord. You should occupy what you have in front of you, whatever that is, you know, whatever skills, whatever talents, whatever you have in the here and the now. After prayer, give in to those things, because most likely that's where your answer is. But you know, he's waiting on the Lord is not just you sitting there chilling. So anyways, so after I realized, like, you know, I went for job after job after job after job, 50 applications in and just nothing. I'm like, okay, this is weird. Excuse me, but I'm going to seek the Lord on this. And I felt him pulling me towards publishing this bad boy. And so I set up like my Patreon account or whatever, and first of all, I started doing a whole bunch of other things that wasn't related to that or poetry or anything. I'm like, ooh, I'll offer this and I'll offer that, and I'll do, you know, photography, and I'll do singing and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, calm down. I have a habit of doing that. I need to partner with the Lord in what he wants, not what I think he wants. So eventually, like maybe it was like a month in or so, I realized like, okay, this isn't really getting me where I'd like it to get me. So let me seek the Lord once again. And I'm like, okay, no, I need to publish the book. So I go to publish the book, and first dilemma is that I had written the book. Let me show you guys, hold on. I had written the book. I had done it like in a homemade kind of way, and I did that because I don't know why actually. I just needed to, and I thought it would be like an interesting like new way of looking at it. So it looks like this in the original format that I did it in. Ooh, I don't know if you can see it. It's like straight up a homemade project, but it's on art paper, and then I did printer paper to print out like the poems and stuff. I don't know if you can read that, but yeah. So that was the original form I did it in, and I wanted to offer that to people, but my printer was out of commission, and I didn't have money to get the art book that I needed to. Sketchbook. So I was like, you know what, I'll just do it on Amazon. I really don't want to, but I'll just do it. That's just the best option because I don't have to pay anything up front. So type it up, and I go to sell it on Amazon. And if you ever sold at least the book on Amazon, there's like 2 layers of what is it called, editing that kind of have to take place. So there's the first layer, you submit your like materials and stuff, and then if it passes the check, then I guess real people will actually look at it and make sure everything's good and it's printable, whatever, and then you're all good to go. And I had already previously done this, so I knew the worst part for me was just going to be the technology of like getting everything formatted right. So I went forward and I published the book because all of the formatting was correct on my end, right? And I'm waiting, and it's day 1, day 2. Typically it's really fast. Like you can do it that day and you might get it like the next day, really. Because my first book, I published, unpublished like 7 times. But this time, you know, I'm waiting day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. It's like a week, and I'm like, what's happening? So I get a kind of basically a rejection letter saying like, no, there's some formatting stuff on our end that you didn't do. And I'm like, okay, uh, that's kind of annoying, but okay, let me get on that. So I go through it again. Again, I'm waiting a really long time. I'm like, this is really weird. Once again, there's some more formatting issues. Now, the weird thing with this is that, or the difficult thing with this is that the formatting issues on their end isn't stuff that I'm aware of. So I had no idea like what like was wrong until they told me. There was nothing that I could do on my end that would make everything like smooth. So it's like, oh, that won't be an issue or anything. Like I had no idea. They were like telling me, for instance, the title of this book, ALDR, stands for a long distance relationship. Well, apparently I couldn't have the name. I had to have the name of the book actually like on the, it was something weird about how the title and the name of the book had to like be on the book. I don't remember, but I called it a long distance relationship as the actual title. Like if you were to buy it, it would be called that. But since it wasn't on the cover page, they were like, no, you can't do that. So I'm like, it's an acronym though, ALDR, but they're like, no, like you have to, it has to match. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I thought about it. I'm like, I don't want to type out that whole thing. So I guess it's just gonna technically be called ALDR, which is so weird. But anyways, it was that. And so it happened, I think 3 times. So I sent it again, same thing. Eventually, they're like, okay, everything's good. Get ready to publish it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm so excited. Next issue pops up. What was the issue? I realized okay, it's out there. Let me just tell the people. I realized, ooh, you kind of need a copy to sell it. So I'm like, I gotta buy a copy. So my circumstances right now, I'll just briefly say that the Lord is really wanting to show me that thing that I said in the first video about I am your security right now. I have been surviving on His grace. He has sent me work per month that has covered some expenses for me, my bills, and that's all. Like He hasn't given me a single cent more. So it's been extremely difficult for anything, to pay for anything that, falls outside of that. So when it came to buying the book, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even buy this book. So it took me, like, I don't know, at least somewhere between like 3 days and a week to even get the $6.38 I needed to even buy the book. So I go to buy the book and I'm like, okay, it's okay. We're finally there. The book, okay, so I don't even know how this is possible. Once again, it's spiritual. I go to purchase the book. I have a little bit more than I think I literally in my account I had like 640 or 649 or something like that. So I'm like, I am getting this book. Book costs $6.38. I get a flag alert that my bank needed me to put in, like, not put in more information, but they put like a restriction on my card, which might make sense if it was a credit card, but it's a debit card, number one. Number two, I had other bills that were taken out of my card and it left me with nothing. So I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. This makes absolutely zero sense. Why would they restrict my card? I try and get I was supposed to put in a verification code. Try and get the verification code. I give up. honestly, because I'm so frustrated because it's just like, well, am I just not going to get the book? What do I do? Because I'm waiting there for the verification code is not coming through. The verification code comes in like an hour or two later to where now it's obviously ineffective. So I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I'll just rebuy the book. So I try again. Oh, but I forgot. In addition to that, I got a confirmation email saying that the sale went through. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, so something happened. I don't know exactly what, but I'm aware that I don't see any charge in my account or anything. So I'm like a little bit suspicious. So the week of, I'm feeling a little bit weird about this. I'm like, God, did you just do something or like what? So just to make absolute sure I had a little bit more money on my account, I decided to buy another book. Just like, I'm like, I can always cancel the other one, whatever the case is. Once again, it gives me that message where it's like your bank wants you to put in more, or has the security thing, put in this code, blah, blah, blah. And do I get the code? No, I don't even think it gave me the code that time. The second time, I don't remember exactly what happened the second time, but for some reason, once again, I look hours after. No code, no subtraction from my account, like the amount isn't subtracted, so I'm like, so I don't think it went through. I get another confirmation email, I'm like, I don't trust this. After this time, I was pissed. So I was truly pissed. I'm like, this just doesn't make any sense. Why would so I call my bank and they say, because that's what the message prompted me to do. I call my bank and they say, well, yeah, we don't really know what to do for you. You can talk to the people who issue the card. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess, like, I don't think they're gonna know because there was no charge. The person says, verifies, there is no charge. There's nothing we can do for you. You can reach out to the merchant, and that's the best that I can tell you. And I'm like, yeah, okay, thank you. That makes sense. They told me to call you, but I'm like, that doesn't even make sense because there's nothing to go off of. The message read as if my bank was blocking the transaction. So then after I call them, I am just like, okay, this is really frustrating. So at this point, I'm like really wanting to give up and I feel really defeated. And what had happened? I say, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and do the book in this original format that I wanted to in this way. Completely forgetting about the fact that, oh shoot, I still don't have a printer. So I have to go to the library. But I can't print out all of that. Like the amount of money, it would just be too much. Number one. Number two, I still needed sketchbook paper. Didn't have enough for that. Number three, I said, well, you know what? I'll just go ahead and start orders and just tell them that it's going to take, a little while because one, I have to do it myself, and two, I need to get all these supplies and everything. But then I had to sell my car. I had to sell my car because there was some issues with it and I couldn't afford it, and it's like, why am I going to pay for insurance? So I ended up having to sell my car. And that's a whole other thing, but now I couldn't even get to the library. It's so sad. So I ended up doing that, and you might think like, well, then why didn't you use that money? Well, I had to go to other bills. For me and for my household, this really has been a time of trusting in the Lord and asking him to provide. And we got so backed up on bills and everything. Like, I was able to pay for my car and my phone, but the rest of the bills in the house, which I normally would at least help with, if not cover, there was no provision for that. And I'm like, how is this okay, Lord, we're backed up on everything. Our electricity might go, water might go, all that might go, but we're trusting you. And thus far, the Lord has come through. And with the sale of my car, that helped with that. But I just find that so funny that it was like cascading systems failure. Everything that I tried fell apart. So eventually, after that, I said, you know what, Lord, I can't even do it in this way that I want to. I don't know. Something is amiss here. But this book is for you. I know it has your stamp of approval. Show me what I need to pray for. Show me what I need to fight against, whatever in the spirit. Because I'm not going down like this. I'm just not going to do it. And let me tell you, I was vicious. I was like, any enemy, you're going straight to the pit. I'm not playing with you. We're done. I'm not doing this. I'm not going back and forth. The very next day, y'all, the very next day, I got a confirmation email that for the first time, my book actually it was an update about the confirmation email that it had actually shipped. It got to the place, the point of shipping rather than just like the confirmation of the order, because that's what I had gotten before, but it just stayed on that. But this time it actually said it shipped. And I just still kept praying because I'm like, I'm still skeptical. I don't know nothing. And then they told me that it was actually supposed to come on next Tuesday, I think, 23rd. But I woke up and it was outside my room today. So I'm just sharing that because not only for that sake, for the sake of the book, but also just to show what it looks like when you walk in the spirit and the things of God, that it's tricky and it will come with backlash, but you just got to stand firm on what the Lord has given you. And this is crazy because it's so indicative of every single time he's ever spoken to me. It always comes with just this resistance. Ireland is the best example, but there's others. And geez, it's just so crazy. But I'm really in awe. And so I just had to share that also God was behind that, and that he really was prompting me to write. So maybe for you, this is a little bit of encouragement. God might want you to start that business. God might want you to write that book. God might want you to do blah, 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 because you never know what his plans are with that thing. It might seem silly. It might seem stupid. It might seem like, how is this going to work? I'm really aware that the time that we live in are really difficult, economically speaking. Well, every way, but economically especially. And then in addition to that, all this AI talk, I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe it's not about this particular book. Maybe it's not about books in general. Maybe he'll maneuver this into something else, some other creative venture or some other business thing or whatever the case is. I don't know. I'm just along for the ride, but it's not easy. Okay. But stay encouraged and really, really partner with the Lord for what he wants for you and what he has for you. Because I guarantee you also, not only will you have satisfaction even when you have nothing, even when you're scrambling just to get $6.38 just to buy the book that you're not even going to get to buy. Even with that, it's also wherever he wants you, you're going to be the most effective. So you're going to be able to reach people, to war in the spirit, to do whatever you need to do for him, for yourself, for those around you. You'll be able to do it way more effectively if you're where you need to be. So yeah, I hope this encourages someone. That's all I have for you. Jesus loves you. Yeah. Bye.